In the 1920s, India was governed by British rule, but the subcontinent was heavily fractured from within. Severe caste divisions, widespread social inequality, and communal tension ran deep through the population. Observing this landscape, Keshav Baliram Hedgewar made a specific calculation. He concluded that pushing for political independence would ultimately fail if the society itself remained disjointed and internally weak. On September 27, 1925, during the festival of Vijayadashami, Hedgewar founded the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, or RSS, in Nagpur. The core premise was straightforward. A nation can only build real power if its society is meticulously organized first. To achieve that organization, the RSS relies on a highly specific daily operation known as the Shaka. These are localized, routine gatherings where members follow a strict curriculum. They engage in physical exercises, they play team sports, they practice yoga, and hold intellectual discussions regarding national affairs. The RSS views this consistent repetition as a method for character building. By performing these structured activities in unison every single day, participants develop habits of internal discipline and a collective identity. Over decades, the Shaka serves as a highly scalable training ground, molding individual behavior at a micro level across thousands of neighborhoods. By 1940, Madhav Sadashiv Golwalkar, known internally as Guruji, took over leadership. Under his direction, the organization aggressively expanded, opening new branches in rural areas and transforming the RSS from a local group into a massive national network. This network faced its first major stress test in 1947, when India achieved independence and underwent a violent partition that displaced millions. In response, RSS volunteers mobilized rapidly across affected regions. They established relief camps and facilitated refugee rehabilitation amidst the widespread chaos. Handling disaster logistics on this scale proved their operational capacity, establishing their reputation as a highly reliable frontline workforce during national emergencies. But the organization's trajectory collided with severe national trauma on January 30, 1948, when Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated. Suspecting that rogue members of the RSS might be involved in the plot, the Indian government immediately imposed a total ban on the organization. Subsequent legal investigations and trials failed to prove the organization itself was guilty of the crime, and the government eventually lifted the ban under strict conditions. However, the stigma of this period never completely washed away. It remains the most fiercely debated chapter of their history, permanently coloring the arguments of their modern critics. As the decades progressed, the RSS evolved. Instead of remaining a single entity, it created the Sangh Parivar, a vast family of new organizations that are ideologically aligned but functionally independent. These branches systematically filtered into different sectors of civilian life. They created the ABVP for student politics, the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh for labor unions, and the Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram to operate in tribal areas. A major element of their public presence relies on visible, apolitical crisis response. When earthquakes or severe floods hit, Sangh Parivar volunteers are often the first to arrive to deliver essential supplies. This logistical dominance continues today. During the COVID-19 pandemic, these groups activated nationwide to distribute food, coordinate medical supplies, and manage community relief. By utilizing this Parivar model, the central ideology bypassed traditional political barriers, embedding its influence directly into the daily routines of millions of citizens. Officially, the RSS is categorized as a socio-cultural organization. It does not appear on any ballot, and it does not contest elections. Yet its political footprint is massive. A large portion of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party's leadership began their careers within the ranks of the RSS. Supporters point to this overlap as a natural alignment of shared values. Critics, however, argue that it allows an unelected body to exert outsized control over the highest levels of government. Through Hindutva, the RSS views India as a continuous civilization spanning millennia, anchoring national identity in ancient heritage rather than modern borders. Critics call this exclusionary, arguing it alienates minorities. This friction drives ongoing clashes over how the country's history is taught. As a result, the organization operates as a unique national lightning rod. capable of mobilizing massive social welfare initiatives while simultaneously standing at the exact center of India's most aggressive identity debates. In 2025, the RSS officially marked 100 years of continuous operation, currently led by Mohan Bhagwat. Over a century, it has built a dual legacy, defined equally by its massive scale of grassroots social service and its role as a source of persistent ideological controversy. Whether approached with admiration or fierce criticism, analyzing the mechanics of the RSS is required to make sense of the modern Indian subcontinent. With a vast network woven into the civilian and political landscape, the organization's trajectory remains inseparable from the path of modern India.